What's good? It is Sam here, and today is day number 27, where I decided to get into real estate wholesaling in South Carolina. I'm outside of my new apartment, and I wanted to talk about a couple things in terms of cold calling real estate agents today. I put in another offer on a property yesterday, and I think we're going to tie this one up, and we have another offer that we sent out, and she reached out to us afterwards, so I think we're going to tie that one up as well, hopefully. If we can get a couple more contracts tied up, April's going to be a very good month. So, with that being said, if this is your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam, and for those of you who are returning, it is good to freaking see you. Well, let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with Podio. Podio is our CRM. It is a very common CRM software that is used in the real estate. I think it's also in legal and a few other industries. It is extremely flexible and one of those things where it doesn't seem necessarily extremely intuitive when you first get into something. So it takes some time getting used to it, just like anything that is worthwhile. It takes some time and effort to figure it out. So I've been putting in some time to play around with it, to try to figure it out, and this is just has to be, if you know that something like that is going to be a tool that you're going to use in your business, to not just do it once a week, but to put in a little bit of effort into figuring it out every single day, whether it's just 15 or 20 minutes and just figuring out that next little clip, that next little thing, that next little bit in there to move forward, and to just be consistent in doing that. That's actually how you're going to get those results. That goes for fucking anything in life. Trying to lose weight, trying to have a better relationship, trying to make more money. Doesn't fucking matter what it is. Just make a little bit of progress every single day, and you will definitely get there. So let's talk briefly about the two different offers. So there's an area in South Carolina, in Rock Hill, where the properties are, there's a lot of rehabs going on and a lot of flips going on in the area, and the area has a ton of rentals in there. So you might drive down a street and see 3 fucking flips or trailers in terms of like those giant dumpsters in front of properties where they're getting renovated, or you'll see that the comps you're looking at in terms of the comparable properties, if you're running numbers for like an ARV, are flips. So there's a ton of activity going on in this area, and that is the area that I was canvassing a lot from driving $4. And we initially received some through a cold call. We initially got into contact with somebody who about 3 weeks ago had said that their tenant was going to be moving out around mid-month, and that might be an interesting time for her to actually get rid of the property. She was talking about potentially getting rid of the property when we initially talked to her at the beginning of the month. So we just talked to her again, and she said she was definitely interested and that we should send it over an offer. So we sent it over. We have, through skip tracing, her email address, and that was the incorrect email address. So 24 hours later, we had 2 email addresses for her. One of them definitely did not go through, so I thought the other one did go through. 24 hours later, she calls back. She's like, hey, I didn't get your offer. So she is definitely interested. If she's taking the time to reach back out and say like, hey, I didn't get your fucking shit, she is definitely interested. That is a good sign. Hopefully we can move forward, get into contact with her, meet up, and then get that property under contract. We'll be calling her again tomorrow to just see what's going on with that one. And then another one, but first I wanted to talk about networking. So if you are if you've ever been to a networking event, where people at networking events, a lot of the times, from my experience, will be more along the lines of like salespeople or something like that, where they need other people for their business to grow. And I feel like those are some of the easiest things, because the people who are in these roles tend to just like to fucking talk. So if you go to one of these events, try not to talk, in the sense that your objective is to get other people to talk. And these people fucking love to talk, right? They just want to talk about themselves. They want to talk what's going on. They want to talk about this. They want to talk about that. They want to talk about everything. So let them talk. Right? You can help steer the conversation in the direction that you want to go. Don't be fucking fake about it. Just be genuine. Don't try to shove your shit in there and fucking give them your business card. Just let them talk. Keep feeding them. Keep driving the conversation in the direction you want to go, and asking questions that are thoughtful, and actually being genuinely interested in the person and what they have to say, so that you can actually have a intriguing conversation to them, so that is a memorable conversation to them. And then when you follow up, they'll actually fucking remember you, because you're like, oh, that was that nice dude, right, that I talked to for 30 minutes, where I might have said 3 minutes in the whole entire conversation, because I got them to talk about it. And that is, there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to have an objective when you go into these things. So that is where I got this next lead in the area of South Carolina that I was just mentioning, where we had where there's a lot of flips happening. That is a area where you're going to find a lot of properties for under $100,000. And then in this other area, it is a multiple $100,000 area for properties. Probably a cheap property is going to be in around 200K. So more expensive might be like 700K. So there's a much broader spectrum of properties over here, and it's on the water, it's by the golf course, country club, and things like that. So this other lead, I went on an appointment, and it was a very good appointment. The person just has other things going on right now, and they want to get rid of the property. It's not everybody thinks about life and real estate the same way you do. So when you're having these conversations, right, be careful the stories you tell yourself around what you're doing in these conversations, because not everybody believes or thinks the same way you do. So you coming in with a low offer might be perfect and more than what they actually wanted, right? They're just like, fuck this place, I want to get the fuck out of here. And you come in with an offer that's more than what they wanted, and they're like, cool, I'm good. And that's exactly what you're looking for. Somebody who has no interest in they just want to get the fuck rid of something. If you find people who are motivated, right? Like if you find somebody who's moving tomorrow and they have a moving sale and they still have their shit the day before, I bet you can find a fucking good deal, right? That's what it's like. So your objective is to find people who are motivated for whatever reason it might. Maybe they just fucking got out of a relationship. Maybe there was a death. Maybe there's issues with the property. Maybe there's money problems. Maybe there's, feet problems. I have no idea. There's always some issue in people's lives that makes it so that they don't want to be a property owner for whatever reason, especially with that first property is actually a rental property, and she's waiting for the person to get out and just doesn't want to deal with renters anymore. F fucking renters, she says, right? I mean, not in those words, but she just doesn't want to deal with renters anymore. So she's willing to just get rid of this property, and we'll see how that goes along. So make sure you press that subscribe button so you get to see how the negotiations happen. In South Carolina, and I have to do this research for myself, but I was told that you can record a conversation as long as one party of the conversation is aware of the recording. So does that mean if I'm having a conversation with you and I'm recording the conversation, then I'm aware of it, and that's all that matters? Because that's how it sounded to me. I still have to look that up myself, but I would like to actually record some of these conversations that I have with sellers, so you get to see the actual dialogue of what is going on and some of the things that are going on in people's lives. Not everybody wants to make money in real estate. Other people have other objectives, and some people just can't freaking stand real estate, and they would much rather not have any part of owning real estate, dealing with any of that whatsoever. Like me personally, I don't want to own real estate to live in. I want to own real estate as a rental. I don't want to own my own property. I would much rather rent. I don't want to deal with fixing fucking shit unless I'm making money from it. I don't want to buy a property and then have to go mow the fucking lawn and fix the fucking window if it breaks and fix the roof and the whatever happens to the property. I don't want to do that unless there's money involved. In terms of somebody is paying me, then I'll hire somebody to do that and get that taken care of. If I'm living in the property, nope, I don't want to do that. I would much rather rent and have somebody else pay for all of that fucking shit. Then I don't have to deal with the depreciation of all the crap in the apartment, like a washer, dryer, appliances, all that stuff. Somebody else can deal with all that shit. That breaks down, I'm calling somebody. I don't want to deal with that myself. So there's a spectrum of people and what they believe, and you're just looking for the people who don't want it, right? And then a lot of times you can get it at a very, very reasonable price. The last thing that I wanted to touch on, so I'll keep you guys updated on both of those offers. One of them I actually talked to again tonight, so if you're able to continue a conversation with a seller, that's a good thing most of the time. So if we got two of these, that should be pretty good. The contract we currently have under contract, not sure what's going on with that one. Somebody said that they were going to be, we signed out another assignment contract. Supposedly that's going. I have no idea. Not really. Actually looks like it's going to happen. I have no idea. We'll see. But we'll see how this plays out. There's also like a 20 unit complex in Texas that I was talking about. So that's on a completely, that would be like a JV deal with somebody else. If you guys want to hear more about that, make sure you let me know down below in the comment section. But what I spent a lot of the time today on was actually just calling real estate agents. And the call essentially is like, hey, YouTube, my name is Sam, and I work with a couple investors who are looking to purchase in the area. Doesn't matter where they're working. doesn't matter where they're working. We're looking to purchase in the area. It just has to be the right deal. So, hey, YouTube, we're looking to purchase in the area. My name is Sam. I'm working with a group of investors who are looking to purchase in the area. They're looking for properties that maybe like have been sitting on the market for a while, or that are not necessarily ideally suited for retail buyers. What is a retail buyer? That's just like, Joe and John, like Johnny and Sally fucking Smith, who want like a house, right? And they're scared of issues with the house, so they only want like a fixed up house, right? They don't want anything where they're going to actually have to put in any work to it. So a lot of those I left messages for. Couple people hung up on me. I don't understand why. Like, if you're trying to sell a property for a client and you could get more offers, I mean, maybe they just had a bad experience, but to me, I mean, like, if you're trying to sell a property for a client and somebody's willing to give you another offer, to me it just makes sense. But everybody's in a different spot. Maybe they're just having a bad day. But I got a hold of about, I think, 5 or 6 different agents, and maybe 3 or 4 of them seemed like they might. Two of them were super promising. Like they're like, yeah, next week I should have a property, and the other one was like, hey, in about 2 weeks I think I'll have 5 properties coming on. So I just sent them a text message. We're like, oh, hey, YouTube, is this your cell phone number? Yeah, cool. Okay. Well, do you mind if I'll just shoot over my name and my company and email address, and then when those properties come on, shoot them over, and I can send you an offer. That's essentially how it goes. But the interesting thing about this is that I have over 4,000 real estate related phone numbers. So I think I'm gonna just start calling those probably tomorrow. Do some driving for dollars. If you guys want to see more of the actual driving for dollars, jump down below in the description to TikTok for tomorrow. I'm gonna be doing TikTok videos of me driving for dollars and exactly what the process is like, how I do the notes, and just what I'm looking for on the properties. So press that thumbs up button if you guys found any value in this. I appreciate you, and peace the fuck out.